Welcome to part 3 of Holiday Stress. This segment is tips for reducing loneliness in seniors during the holidays. I'm lonely. I'm not looking for anybody, but I'm lonely. This is Nurse Linda, this is Dr. Charles, and we're having a good time talking about home care, health care.
Yes, and a good time talking about stress because we are going to do what we can to keep it to a minimum. And in the last segment, we talked about a number of different things just to give ideas of what they can do. Everyone has to choose themselves how to reduce stress in their lives. But one important thing to realize is that as we, and I'm talking about people who are working with children, are running around trying to create that perfect holiday, we forget about the elderly who are at home. And they're no longer able to participate in the activity and the cooking and the preparing and the card writing. My mother-in-law is one who would, for most of her life, made her own Christmas cards. She would hand draw every single card and decorate the front and then fill out a saying in the middle and mail them out. Now she's legally blind. She doesn't send any Christmas cards at all. And that's been a very difficult thing for her to do, to accept. But it's been coming for a few years, and it's just something that changes. But people and their families can help by preventing our elderly from being so alone and so isolated. Those kinds of things lead to symptoms of dementia, can lead to depression, can lead to forgetfulness and confusion because you're not there as often as you were before because of the stress of the holiday. So here's what we're doing. We need to make time to go and see your elderly family member, church member, spread the wealth out, and we keep telling you that. Share the responsibility. So you have yourself, you have your brother, your sister, your cousin, your neighbor, whoever can go visit mom. Everybody take a turn. And it doesn't mean that one person has to take on the full responsibility. Listen and understand what they want, not what you want to do. What do they want to do? Do they want to do baking for the holidays? Well, instead of doing the baking at your house, you go to their house and do your baking. That makes them feel like they're participating in it, even if all they're doing is watching. So that's one thing to do. If you're going to sit and address your Christmas cards, sit at their house and do it, and ask them, hey, I've got some extra cards. Do you want any cards sent out? Very simple to do and help them. They may be able to sign the card, but they can't write the address correctly due to eyesight, due to forgetfulness, due to a shaky hand from arthritis or Parkinson's disease. So you can help them with some of that.
I have a computer.
Mm-hmm.
I have a handwriting font that's very close to my printing font. And I can load envelopes. And I got my mailing list. And I push a button, and it looks like I handwrote every one of those suckers.
Yeah. Use clear labels on it or put it right on the envelope like you do. Yes, absolutely.
Clear labels work fine.
Yes.
People are no longer upset if they're not, here's a label on this. God, they don't love me anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. No, they don't go for that anymore. But a lot of our elderly don't have computers, but if you give the addresses to your children, they can do it on the computer for you. So don't be afraid to ask if you are in that situation where you can't write out those envelopes anymore. Christmas shopping. If you're going out to get Christmas gifts for family members or friends, ask your elderly, do they want you to pick anything up for them? Okay, very important. Help them to decide what they might want to get for people. They may not know what's available. They may not know what to get. Provide some suggestions. Remind them how important they are to your celebration. Even though Grandma can't bake the ham anymore, she might be able to buy the ham for somebody else to bake. They're staying involved, and that's an important part of this. If they're in an assisted living facility or a nursing home, check with your child's school if it's nearby, if it's local. Can they go and sing? Can they go and visit? They get to see their grandchildren, and other people there may have grandchildren in the same school. And again, they get to participate. They can't go to the school for the Christmas program or holiday program, but they can bring it to the facility. Very important. call and invite your elderly neighbors over to your house if you're having people in. It's that simple. Is the church having a coffee to celebrate the holidays? Ask if there's somebody in the church you can pick up and bring if you're going anyway. Okay? It helps people to stay connected, and it's so important this time of year. What they're going to see sometimes as well is that you're coming in and taking over, or that you're just saying, you don't have to do anything. You do nothing, you just show up.
My mother never went for that.
That's just it. You think you're helping them by taking the burden off of them. They want to feel like they're contributing, and you're just making them feel worthless. So when they come to your house and they sit, they're sad because they had nothing to do with the preparation. Give them something. When they get there, let them fold napkins. Let them put out silverware. Let them entertain the children while you're finishing up the meal. Read a book. It helps them to participate. All those little different things that we can do to keep our elderly involved. And that's just so, so important.
I do my share by helping eat the food.
There you go. See, you participate.
Indeed I am.
The other thing to remember over the holidays is alcohol intake. In the elderly
Now,
especially.
you pro or against?
I'm middle of the road. I'm Switzerland on this.
Okay.
Okay. I enjoy an alcoholic beverage. I am not a teetotaler. But please be aware, you're on the road, you're driving. There are other people who have not been as careful as you have. You need to be more alert. Plus, if you're fatigued because of all the driving and shopping and preparing you've been doing, the alcohol will only exacerbate that. It'll make it worse. In the elderly, they don't metabolize alcohol. Their body doesn't use it the same way that it used to. So watching how much alcohol they take as well. And they may not drink all year and then want to take 3 or 4 glasses of wine. That is not a good thing to do. And medications that they're on may interact with alcohol. So we've got to help watch over that.
We have no alcohol in the house. We decided, well, since I don't like the taste of the stuff, and my wife, didn't drink anything but wine way back, we decided to have no alcohol in the house. And so our child grew up in an alcohol-free house.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he was a junior in high school. He broke off with a friend of his we lived in a resort area, because the kid was drinking beer at 17. My son didn't think that was right, and he said he acted really goofy.
That's a good description. I like that.
Nope. Don't drink, and don't run around with wild women, because my wife won't let me.
No, and if you're going to drink, make sure you drink plenty of fluids along with that, and make sure that you eat.
That dehydrates you, doesn't it?
It does dehydrate you, and liquid dinners are not a good idea around the holidays, at any time, but especially not around the holidays.
Okay. Well, good. What's next week?
Next week we're going to talk about some fun things, trivia.
The end of the earth.
Well,
The
we're going to
Mayan-
talk about the Mayan calendar,
Yeah.
but we're going to talk about some trivia and just have some fun next week. So.
Well, any way to learn something, because you're always doing this program.
Yes.
You were listening to Nurse Linda on Senior Moment with Nurse Linda. Phone number 803-941-7231. That number again, 803-941-7231. And those folks who are calling us from Texas and California, and Texas wants to secede from the Union. That's not why they call that a medical question. And from Connecticut and stuff, please do. She's happy to talk to anybody. And go to www.brookhc.com for the website, and you can watch these programs and tell your friends about it. Thank you for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you next week. Bye now.